The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome to the Spartan Media Network from Playfly Sports.
Lob past Cooper. Oh, he slams it right over the top of Golden. 15 on the shot clock. Fears down the lane. Right at Golden. Bank shot good. Oh, my goodness. What a play by Fears. Here's a three from the wing. It's good. MSU gets another three.
Jackson Kohler with his fourth three of this game.
He got it.
It is time for the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance, Simple Human Sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Labatt Blue Light, we're brewed for the roast. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. And Coors Light, choose chill. Now, with Michigan State head basketball coach Tom Izzo, here's the voice of Spartan basketball, Will Tieman.
Pleasant evening, everybody around the great state of Michigan and beyond. And welcome into the very first Tom Izzo Show. And we have a special addition to our show this season. Welcome, Mike Garland.
Thank you.
Of course, Mike, longtime assistant coach, part of a lot of championships on the coach. Teammates at Northern Michigan, a head coach at Cleveland State. And we just thought if Mike could join us, he could tell us stories about Izzo all night long, and that alone would be a pretty good show.
Yep, and Izzo could tell you stories about Mike Garland all along, too.
Well, guys, we have one in the books against a really good Colgate team. Won that one 80-69. And I thought maybe we could start off just getting, an overview of what you think, Tom. A lot of practice time, two nice exhibition opponents. So maybe just your thought of where we are.
Well, I'd like to welcome this table here. I saw more desserts going to that table than Carter got liver pills. I mean, what the hell's going on here? But it's hard to believe that just a couple of years ago, we'd start October 15th. And now we start September 22nd, and it's another 3 weeks. And so it's been really hard to judge how you handle it. We're still out recruiting and this and that. That's intensified a lot. And so we'll see what happens here in the next couple of days. I think some things might shake out. But in general, we had really both exhibition games are really good for us. We played okay against the pretty good Bowling Green team. And I thought we played very average against a very good UConn team. And so they probably deserve some credit. We deserve some blame. Strange, last year we were such a great free throw shooting team. And right now we can't make a free throw. And that's disappointing because the guys have worked awfully hard at it. We are getting to the foul line. That's the good news. We're getting there. I want to say it's 30 sometimes a game. And that's amazing. So if we're making them, we'd be all right. We're also at times missing some layups. I don't think our defense has been great. Man, it sounds like after one game, I'm in rare form, miserable as hell, I just think that we've got to do a better job in some things. So they got to play better. We got to coach better. But, when you play this many good teams coming up, when you see Arkansas, you're going to be, it looks like the Lakers coming in. They're really athletic, really, really good. I think one of the best teams I've seen in the last couple of years on film. And so we've got to improve in some areas. Hopefully we will.
And Mike, when you've been through this, patience of molding a team, how big a part does that play in everything?
Well, when you're talking about Tom, there's no patience. So, but no. But
I kept you around for 25 years, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you did it because, I used to take care of you a little bit too. So that's how it goes. But when we have I've watched those kids that we have and watched them through the summer. And, I just think we have a little something. There's something about us that I think is can really be special. I think a lot of people don't understand, but every team, I don't care if we would have returned everybody we had from last year, Chief, every team every year is a different team.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't matter who you have. So, give us a chance.
Yeah, we need a little time right now. We don't have any. It reminds me of that year. Was it 2004 or something that we played all those teams? We played North Carolina. We played Syracuse, Kentucky, Oklahoma. I think I went 2-6 that year. Still finished second in the league, and
Right.
not that I want to do that for sure, but I don't worry about the preseason. We do it on purpose. We try to get a good schedule. It's easier to coach guys when they don't think they're real good, and yet you don't want to get so beaten down that they lose their confidence. And nowadays that is easier to do because of the damn social media. Everybody else is ripping them, so I don't even get a chance to. Kind of unfair, but it's different. It's different, but I think the basics are still the basics, and that's what we got to do.
By the way, we're live at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. So if you want to join our audience for any of the MSU Coaches Shows, make your reservation by emailing coachesshows@onenorthdining.com. And by the way, we still have this microphone over there. Anybody, anytime during the show, wants to come up and ask Coach a question, feel free to do it. We'll be back with more of the Tom Izzo Show in a moment right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Whoa, boss, how did that...
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Who can't stop shouting "shoot it," and the driveway heroes who still call raindrops on every brick. Make fun of a ref through the TV like he can hear you, then miss 3 straight free throws on your buddy's hoop. Argue every foul, celebrate every layup, and somehow think you're running the offense from Section 312. But that's the beauty of it. Basketball isn't just about the court, it's the noise, the passion, and the Labatt you're holding while you live it. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Hey, Spartan fans! It's college basketball season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of airballs and alley-oops. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the courtside action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU basketball. Go green, go white, SeatGeek.
Farm Bureau Insurance invites you inside the green for an exclusive dinner with football coach Jonathan Smith. This unique experience includes a private dinner for 1 winner and 3 guests with Coach Smith. The winner also receives a private tour of Spartan Stadium, an autographed football from Coach, tickets to a future home game, and more. For more details and to register, visit InsideTheGreenSweeps.com. Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of Michigan State Athletics.
Yeah, both our freshmen have really done a pretty good job. Cam is, at 6'8", he's strong, he's athletic, he's very smart, and he too is going to work on his free throws. That's the big knock right now. But he is a decent shooter and everything. But he can guard a lot of different people. He's, like I said, he's going to be, we think, a really good player. And the guy that's been a shock has been Jordan. And Jordan has, he played 17 minutes last night, and he kind of reminds me of a Max Christie. He's not real physical, but he's bigger than Max. He's 6'6" and a half, 6'7". He's very, very intelligent on the court and in the classroom, and he can shoot it. He works hard. I mean, he's going to become a fan favorite, I think, the way he plays. So we feel we're in good shape for the future. We just got to take care of the present, and those guys, as they come along, I think will help us a lot.
Hi, Coach. Dom from DeWitt. And to begin with, Coach Garland, it is so good to have you here. And somewhere along the line, one of these shows, you're going to have to give us some dirt on Coach.
There is no dirt.
If you believe that, I can sell you some swampland.
Absolutely. Coach, NIL, your favorite topic. You seem to have things going just fine for Spartan basketball and like, but you run in the upper circles of the sport. Is there any hope for this as far as limits on this and the transfer portal? And I'm thinking maybe you get one time without sitting out, and then after that you have to sit out. But is there any hope for sanity being restored to this once great sport?
Well, Don, it's a $1 million question. In fact, John Calipari and I been on a couple boards. John will be in this week. I just saw him. He gave a hell of an interview about what he thought of it. It was really good. You should look it up. Talks about the unintended consequences of all these things. And, it really is a shame. I mean, I decided last year that I was wiping my hands of all the committees and all the time spent because it was worthless. And now it might even be more worthless because I think now it's in the government's hands. I don't think we can do anything with it anymore.
They always make things better.
Yeah. But I can only tell you that, I feel bad because I think 4 or 5 years from now, and Mike and I talk about it, when it's 7, 8 years into it, and you start getting some of the graduation rates and people that have transferred 4 times, and who's going to go back and help guys with jobs. And I look at my own staff. I've had like 7 former players that have worked for me. And, is that going to end? Is the camaraderie, are you the fans going to be able to follow people through? I hate to give all these, bad news. I mean, there's a couple of good things for it. I just haven't found them yet because even though I think there are a couple, I think players should make some money. I struggle with the transfer portal because my biggest reason is because of tampering. In the NBA or NFL, if you tamper with somebody else's player, you lose draft picks, you all but lose your life. And in college, it's just no big deal. And if you picture somebody 19, 20, it's got enough pressure on them with all the things, all the distractions that you have now compared to even 6, 8 years ago. You add that people are calling you, telling you to transfer, and I can do this for you and I can do that for you. Hard to have both feet in. And if you don't have both feet in at this level, it's hard to be real good. So last year when they say, how has your team changed it? And what have you done? I said, I've tried to keep the distractions and dirtbags away from my players. Now that is a full-time job in itself. And Mike when he was with me, was very good at it. He spent a lot of time with players, and that's what you got to do. But at the end of the day, if this is better for players, I would 150% go for it. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know what's going to happen with it. I'm just going to worry about my team, but I do care. My boss, Judd Heathcote, used to say, it's your job. Mike Krzyzewski called me when I wasn't real excited about the G League stuff, and I did. I seriously did put a call in the Magic, see if he wanted to come back and play for me. And he's thinking about it. We're negotiating the contract right now. But it's. I'll just say this to you, and Mike. This is what's kind of cool about you having Mike here. Mike stops by every day. Hell, he's got no job anymore. He just sits around and does nothing. So he comes by every day.
Well, if you work for him for 25 years, you probably think about doing what I did too.
That's a really good point.
No, it was great.
But if you knew what went on a nightly basis, like if you could be at my house on the phone calls to recruits and agents and parents, and I think you'd have a better idea what it's really like. And don't feel bad for me. I get paid for it. I get this and that. Feel bad for the players, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to miss out on you great alums, because when you go 3 to 4 different places, you don't have great alums. You don't have great friendships. You don't have life's about friendships and journeys. And I just think that more are going to lose out than gain.
And let me say this, Chief. For those of you that don't know, I call Tom Chief. I don't know if in the past you ever watched the show The Bowery Boys, and Chief used to be the guy that would thump people upside the head and all of that. So it goes back to college and all of that stuff. But I think you asked a question about the NIL, and when you look at it, I want you to think about what damage it does to the game itself. And right now, the greatest example of that is Penn State football. When you think about that, that's what NIL, to me, that's the danger of it. It just kills everything. I guarantee you there are locker room issues that probably started the day after they were in Final Four in football. It just kills your locker room. You got guys over there. That football team has players, but it doesn't guarantee that you're going to win and win big. And Tom knows that. That's why he's continued to do it the way he's done it.
Let me say this on that too, because we're going through a tough time in football here, and in fairness to Jonathan, it's people think it's easier to build a program because you can just go get players and you can spend money, and it's not that way. The most expensive players don't win. It's the best chemistry. I mean, if there was ever an example of that last year, it was not one of my most talented teams, but it was one of my most together teams.
Right.
And because of that, we won the league by three games, which is, an eyelash from going to another Final Four, and with not maybe, the same kind of talent. But I think what Mike's saying is true. I think we have a tendency as fans to say, well, that kid's making money, he should be this. Well, the other kids are making money. Well, that coach has the chance to pay players, he should be this. Well, the other coaches are paying players.
Right.
And I think that's what you're going to see, more people fired, which Jay Billis that doesn't affect him. He always says that coaches, can move. And, I was probably 40, 50 years old before I was good enough to be able to move. And if you knew what I made, I always give this story for the people here that my mother used to come up to me all the time. I was 28, 29. I was still a GA. I was making $5,000 a year. And she'd always ask me when I'm getting married. And I said, when you find me a woman that's going to marry me making $5,000 a year. And, So now that's a little different, but it was a long time before I started making money. It's called pay your dues, which I'll bet you everybody in this room that has been at all successful in whatever you do started out here and you paid your dues. And for some reason, we seem to think you don't have to do that. And usually that ends up a danger zone. If you look at celebrities, if you look at musicians, if you look at the other people, those that get a lot of money early, a lot of bad stories later.
Kills desire.
So we'll see. But have a little patience. I don't worry what you feel for me, but have a little patience for people, because it's not quite as easy as you think. And Mike brought up a good point, is keeping your locker room.
Yes.
Keeping parents happy, because everybody feels they should get this and that. But I know we went overtime now because Mike's talking too much. So go ahead. Let's have a commercial.
One last thought, Coach.
Yes, Don.
It is so special that recruits that come here talk about the family feeling, talk about things like how special grind week is and just that whole thing. And it just, thank you for this program.
That's not, I'm hoping I'm a part of it, but that's our former players, from Magic to Steve Smith to Draymond to Mateen.
You set the atmosphere.
Well, I try to, but they do the work, and they're the ones that show up. And it is a very special week when we have that, and it's growing, isn't it, Mike? This year we had over 60 former players back that we're still playing somewhere, like in Europe or here or there, or retired now, but still good enough. And
but you don't want to take the credit for it, but you created the culture. Come on, folks.
Nowhere else.
He created the culture. It's not like, trust me, I've been around other programs. It's not like.
We'll end it with this, because what Will does is, if he goes too long, he gives you the hook. Okay? But that is what I fear most for everybody. It's taken years and years to build a culture. And if all of a sudden there's 5 teams in our league, I think, that have 10 new players. Yeah. And out of 13 or 12. And that's, there's a couple that have 12 new players. And it's just hard to maintain a culture. And if it's just as I said, I'm a relationship-based guy, and I don't want to live in a transaction-based world. And nobody's going to tell me that that's the right way to go. And so we'll see. We'll see if I can keep doing it my way.
Don't change a thing, Coach. We treasure you.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Unfortunately, I have to get out the hook.
Oh, yeah.
Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you. And don't forget, every Sparty knows everyone needs a timeout. Well, you can get a timeout at the beach, Myrtle Beach, home of 60 miles of warm, sandy beaches, over 2,000 restaurants, and much more. How can you have more than 2,000 restaurants? That just seems like a bunch. Anyway, enter now for your chance to have your very own beach break getaway. Compliments of Visit Myrtle Beach. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/MSU to enter. Your ultimate beach break is a click away. Back with more. We're live here for the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance, as you're listening to the Tom Izzo Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.ufmhealthsparrow.org.
Hey, Spartan fans! It's college basketball season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of airballs and alley-oops. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the courtside action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU basketball. Go green, go white, SeatGeek.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
Well, we're back live on the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. I want to go back to something Tom and Mike were talking about, the feeling of belonging to something special. When Tom has his dinners before Midnight Madness, has all the families there and support people. And one of the things he always says is, at the end of it, go up and introduce yourself to somebody you don't know. Not the guys you know, somebody you don't know. And so I've been doing that for a long time. And get this, so I'm sitting watching a practice, and 2 of our managers and Trey Fort, I've not met these 3 people. They all came up and said, "Hi, I'm Trey Fort. You must be Will." And so it's kind of a neat thing, and you don't get that when you have transient people coming in and out. And I just thought that was kind of cool. And sometimes people look at me strange, Tom, and I go, "Hi, I'm Will." So go away. But anyway, that is one of the neat things I think is part of being a basketball family, and that is something you have created. Something else I'd like you to talk about, we got a really cool home schedule. We've had big games, but we don't play them at home. Arkansas, Saturday coming in. Duke coming in December 6th on a Saturday. A great lineup of Big Ten games. And one of your former coaches going to bring Detroit in here. So can you talk about how cool it is to get a couple big names in and how tough that is?
Yeah, I for all of you, we try every year. You can ask Mike when he was with me to bring in, I just soon play home and home with everybody, but everybody's into these neutral site games, and I just personally don't like them as much because I'd like to go to their arena and play it. Love going to Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, UConn, Syracuse, we've been to them all, Texas. But I'd like them to come in here because I think you, the fans, deserve to have some of the best teams in the country come in here and see another great team. And so we try to get one on the schedule every year. And this year we happen to get 2. Duke owed us a game because we played down there during the Tournament of Champions during COVID. And John Calipari is a friend of mine, and when he was at Kentucky, Tubby Smith used to always play us home and home and stuff, and that was cool. And John got the job, and he wanted to play these neutral sites. I said, well, now that you're out of Kentucky, I just watched the whole days of film on them, and I wish I wouldn't have scheduled that game because they're really good. Wow. I mean, really, really good. And but it'll be good, it's going to be good for us, our fans, our Izzo, and we're going to need more than just our team to win a game. And that's the way it used to be, and that's the way it should be. And trust me when I say this, it would be easier to schedule, as Dick Vitale says, a bunch of cupcakes. It'd be easier on my health. It'd be easier on my team. But it wouldn't be as much fun or challenging. It wouldn't be as much fun for you. And those of you pay good money for the tickets, you deserve to see some of these games. So it's done for a lot of reasons. Hopefully it makes us better in the long run. John Chaney, the old coach at Temple, is the one that got me doing it. I talked to him one time early in my career, second year. We could never get on TV, and I said, and he called, said, "I'll play in, I'll get the game on TV." You know, he was a big time coach, and I said, "Well, I appreciate that, but I don't want to play you. You're too good, you know." And he goes, "Oh, come on, you know, I'll come to your place first."
Right.
So he came to our place first. We lost by 1.
Right.
We went there the next year, and Mateen and those guys were sophomores, Mike.
Yeah, they're sophomores.
And we were getting pretty good. We had them down 16 at their place.
Ooh.
And we lost on a last-second shot. And I'll never forget, he came out to my bus, and he says, "Can I talk to your 2 players, Cleaves and Peterson?" And I didn't know what. I didn't know John that well. And I said, "Sure." And so I went and got him. I went back in the bus. He goes, "Coach, come here." He took those 2 guys and reamed them out from one side to the other about not taking care of your coach, because your coach tried to get them on national TV, and that's why he scheduled this game, and you let him down today. And he went at him, didn't he?
Whoa.
And I said, "Thank you." You know, but after that, I talked to him a few times, and he always told me, "Just keep scheduling. It'll make your program better. Just keep doing it." That's what I did. The difference was, though, they were in a good conference. We're in an elite conference, so our conference games are so good. But I'll never forget his last game was when we beat him in the Elite Eight in Atlanta. And I said, I walked down to shake his hand after the game, and I actually felt guilty, because I said, he helped me build my program. He's never been to a Final Four. And when the media asked me what it was like, I said, I felt like the guy who shot Bambi. You know, everybody wanted John to get to a Final Four, but he was very classy and great. And so I actually owe him for my scheduling.
Wow.
Well, let me tell these guys a story about teams coming here to play us. You remember when we played UConn the first time at Stores, and we played them on CBS, and they gave us our lunch. You remember that? They had Rip Hamilton and all those guys.
Yeah, you didn't do a very good job scouting that game.
No. And I don't want to say anything about your coaching, but I'll leave that alone. But anyway, so the following year, you remember they came back, and we were waiting on them. So we whooped them up pretty good. We whooped them up worse than they beat us. And you had went up to your press conference. So Calhoun is coming out of the locker room, and he sees me, and he goes, hey, Mike, you know, with the East Coast accent. And he said, Mike, where is that effing coach of yours? I said, he's upstairs.
Oh, coach. Friendly coach? Oh, okay.
He says, well, I'm going to tell you something. You tell him, make sure you tell him this, Mike. I didn't know that this place was like this. He'll never, ever get me to come back here and play you guys in this place ever again.
Well,
ever.
You know what we did when we went out there? They had the guy, let's get ready to rumble.
It sure did.
he gave the opening, but when he came here, we had Muhammad Ali.
We had Muhammad Ali here waiting.
And he gave my pregame speech.
It sure did. That's the truth.
Oh,
that's the truth.
Hey, basketball fans, before or after the game, stop by One North Kitchen and Bar, just 1 mile north of campus. Free parking and scratch cooking. Make it a grand slam. And it's also time for our alumni trivia. Today's winner will receive tickets to our next home game and a $25 gift card from the Alumni Hall. And, of course, that's a big game Saturday against Arkansas. So here is the question. I have it here somewhere. And if I've lost it, I know what it is. Here it is. Okay. The last time Tom Izzo won against John Calipari on the sidelines was a 2022 Champions Classic. It was Michigan State and Kentucky. The Spartans won in double overtime, and one MSU player had a dunk to tie it at the end of regulation, and again descended into double overtime. So the question is an easy one. Which Spartan had those 2 dunks? So anybody in this audience that knows that can step up here and see if you can come up with the right answer and get a couple tickets to go see us play Arkansas and win a $25 gift card from the Alumni Hall. We got to take a break first. I know. Anyway, back with more in a moment right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Mind your business, Billy.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.uofmhealthsparrow.org.
Nick Marsh at the 10-yard line of Maryland, angles to the right pylon. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU.
The Spartan football team returns to Ford Field in Detroit to wrap up the regular season against the Maryland Terrapins. Make it a part of your Thanksgiving weekend on Saturday, November 29th. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Ticketmaster.com to order your tickets today.
Hey, Spartan fans! It's college basketball season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of airballs and alley-oops. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the courtside action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU basketball. Go green, go white, SeatGeek.
So yeah.
Wow.
And so
you're married to a guy who's shy, I guess.
But you know, in that game, Tom, a lot of guys had big games, didn't they? In that one, that was a big moment.
I don't know. I just remember those last two plays. They were full court plays, and Malik did a heck of a job. Our whole team did it, but it was a great game. Who was it that had a big game? Marty.
Yes.
Had a big game.
Yeah,
Sissoko.
Right. I remember
Marty
that.
had a big game, and
Right.
that was great. But yeah, John and I have had a few battles, not as many, but a few. And but now that he's wearing red instead of blue, I actually like him more in red than in blue. I actually don't like anybody in blue.
There you go. Well, this room would agree with that one. We had a fun thing. One of the great things about hanging out with Tom, besides getting to view some really good basketball, we get to do neat things. Aircraft carriers, go to Germany. Well, we got to go to the Basketball Hall of Fame on the way to our Connecticut game. How was that? Did the guys like that a lot? It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, and the guys liked that. I mean, the difference is now I don't think people appreciate the past as much as they do the present. And that's kind of sad. I tell our guys every day, if you come through our office, it's all about the players of the past, the players that built the place. And these guys are renting their spot until they earn the right to have built one of the bricks in the place, is the way I kind of look at it. But they did enjoy it. The people out there did a great job, and it was fun. So it's always good to try to do some things with your guys that's a little different kind of education, different kind of camaraderie, and that was a good one.
Well, one of the guys that was in Tom's class of 2006 to 16 was Shaq. Shaq O'Neal, and his shoe was on display. It's a water ski. I mean, that thing is huge.
You know what a group I was with. Right. Me and Allen Iverson were the normal sized guys, and Shaq and Yao Ming. Right. And I remember sitting in the second row behind Shaq and Yao Ming's family. And I felt like a BB on a 4-lane highway.
Man, that is something special. How did you feel though when they have you're in the hall, you're displayed? When you went back and you looked at that thing, what were you thinking when there's Tom Izzo? That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is different. I mean, I think of guys like Mike. I think of guys like all the players that really did all the work for me to get there. And but it is a unique group and a very select group. And I'm just proud that I get to represent Michigan State, almost more than proud to represent the Izzo family. It's my big family is bigger than my small family.
Well, when we come back with more of Tom's show, we're going to talk about how do you mold a basketball team. We'll be back with more in a moment right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics. So crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.ufmhealthsparrow.org.
Welcome back for more of the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show. Joining us as part of our show this season, Mike Garland. And by the way, the Abu Law Firm is proud to sponsor the Beyond the Arc campaign again. The Abu Law Firm will donate $25 for every Spartan three-pointer made. It goes to the Greater Lansing Food Bank. Thanks to the Abu Law Firm for supporting the Greater Lansing Food Bank. And it's interesting. It's $25 every time we make a three. Every time any Robbins players makes a three. Last year we almost had $10,000. That's a lot of money. And
I think I'm going to ask Andrew if he'd give us $25 for every free throw we missed, then we could do the food bank for the next 2 years.
I got nothing on that one. We did make 6, by the way, and that was pretty good. You had guys that scoring in that game. You had 4 in double figures.
No, we're just not playing, and it's early. I think of last year, my God, we were down late to Bowling Green. Every year is different, and Mike's right. We've got 6 really new guys, and we had 2 kids that kind of redshirted. We had 2 freshmen, and we have 2 transfers. And so right now we got to make sure our veterans play well, and then we work our other guys in, and it'll take a little time. And Mike's right. Nobody has patience anymore, but at the same time, Guys got to get better, and we got to coach it better, and they got to play it better, and yet we're scoring 80 points a game. We're doing a pretty good job getting to the free throw line. We rebounded pretty well. Cohen had some exciting plays. Jeremy had phenomenal stats. You know, he had 10 assists, 1 turnover, 5 rebounds, 5 steals. And yet I did not feel we played our best basketball. Now, one thing I will say, it's one thing to schedule good teams, you know, that everybody knows. Everybody knows Arkansas, Kentucky, and Duke, and Kansas, and, you know, those teams, North Carolina. That's easy to do. But what's really tricky is when you play some teams that aren't the big names. This team we played last night have won 5 of the last 6 championships in their league. They've been to the NCAA tournament 5 out of 6 times. Those of you that were there or saw it, I mean, they're a good team, and they're very well coached. And, you know, 1 or 2 things happen here. They hit the first 3 of the first shot they took. And sometimes our place can be intimidating to teams like that who play in places of 2,500 people. And yet if you hit a shot or 2, sometimes that motivates you too. So it works both ways. And we're not good enough to just blow somebody out. We got to play good. And I'm not even worried about the score as much as I'm worried about how we play.
By the way, when you shop Meyer, you help support hundreds of local teams across the Midwest, from big league stadiums to the neighborhood ball fields. Learn more at Meyer.com/community. And Michigan State basketball is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Rocket is helping Americans own more of America. Your journey home starts at rocketmortgage.com, and you can own the dream. Back with more of the Tom Izzo Show, brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. In a moment, as you're listening to the Tom Izzo Show.
People can't. Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
This is Labatt, brewed for the fans who can't stop shouting shoot it, and the driveway heroes who still call raindrops on every brick. Make fun of a ref through the TV like he can hear you, then miss 3 straight free throws on your buddy's hoop. Argue every foul, celebrate every layup, and somehow think you're running the offense from Section 312. But that's the beauty of it. Basketball isn't just about the court, it's the noise, the passion, and the Labatt you're holding while you live it. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No, first base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meyer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meyer.com/community.
Big Ten season starts.
And we're back with more of the Spartan basketball discussion with Tom Izzo and Mike Garland, all presented here by Auto Owners Insurance. Okay, I don't want to get Tom off in a big rant here, but the G League thing was pretty big conversation a few days ago, and it still is. My question is, and obviously, you know that Coach Izzo came down on the negative side of this event. Have they explained any of this to you, Tom? How you can go to the G League and decide, oops, I want to come back to college? Has anybody explained anything to you?
You know, I was on a board for 20 years. I dealt with the NCAA every year. And the truth of it is, what I was so upset about is that we, the coaches, didn't even know anything about it. And then I got more upset when I called my commissioner. He didn't know anything about it. Then I called John Calipari and Matt Painter, who are on the board with. They didn't know anything about it. And Calipari called his commissioner, Sankey, and our two commissioners are the two power commissioners, I guess. And he didn't know anything about it. And so I asked the question, who in the hell's making the rules if we don't even know anything about it? So I think it just goes to prove, I hate to say this, that the inmates are running the asylum. And it was very disappointing for me because I put a lot of time and effort into something that really what it said is we had absolutely no influence, say, or suggestive power even. And but I mean, we're going to bring in, 23, 24-year-old guys that have played pro ball. And I mean, it just doesn't, again, Mike talked about it. The unintended consequence of that, if any of you have a son who's 16, 17 years old, and if you didn't have enough money to go to college and his avenue to college is to get a scholarship and go, we're eliminating those kids right now. We're eliminating the high school kid, and that's what we told them on our committee, and yet they don't listen. And Mike said it to me earlier. What would bother most of you is the educational concept of the student athlete is being really kind of put aside. And in football and in basketball, it's like 1 to 1.5% of the guys who play make it to the league. So 98% of those players are going to need their education. And we've kind of done a poor job of making sure that everybody realizes that's the reality of things. I mean, you have to understand the mentality of a player is I'm making it.
Right.
So I got 13, 12 players on my team. They all think they're making it. Hell, I got 3 managers that think they're making it. Everybody thinks they're making it. They think that getting to the NBA like passing out candy at Halloween. It just doesn't work that way. And it's one of the things Nick Saban was really upset about when he got out. And so I was not only upset about the rule, I was upset I knew nothing about the rule. And I think we should have as coaches.
And I'll add this. One of the great things about winning the Big Ten last year, besides winning the Big Ten, was the fact that we didn't have mercenaries all over the roster. We didn't have 10 new guys. We had a program, and you actually knew all their names, and they had played together. And you win a league by 3 games, and you're doing it in a traditional fashion, more that we all grew up with. And I think that's worth a round of applause, to be honest with you.
Yeah, now let me tell you, as we play some teams this year that they call it NIL, I call it pay for play. And as you learn in football, to give Jonathan Smith, I should say, a little reprieve here, with some teams are spending out there, with no salary cap. The NFL's got it the best, everybody's got a cap, and it's a hard cap. The NBA is starting to get that way. They have a thing called the second apron, which is kind of keeps it somewhat human. If you go over it, you could lose draft picks and things. College has 0. And it's just leading to things that are, I just wish you could be with me some nights. It's unbelievable.
But Tom, I don't think a lot of people understand this. I want you guys to think about something. If money bought you championships, the Dallas Cowboys would have won. They would have won the Super Bowl the last 25 years.
Or the Yankees, they've won one in
same
25
thing.
years. But it does help, Mike. I mean, it does help, and that's the oxymoron of the whole thing, And I just feel bad that players and parents are put in that position too, because sometimes kids are not picking the place where they get. Maybe he's an engineering student, he wants to go to a certain school, but other schools offer more money, so they're not picking spots either where they want to go because they grew up that way, they want to go for their educational reasons. It's really distorted right now, and we'll see what happens. I know we're going to finish it up here, but I think something's got to change in the next few years, or I feel bad for, I think the kids. I still say the kids.
We'll be back to wrap her up in a moment right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
You didn't do this, did you, boss?
Mind your business, Billy.
Touchdown!
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No. First base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics. So crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Well, next up, we have a game Saturday night at the Breslin Center. We welcome in Arkansas. We go on the air at 6 on the network. And in a few seconds left, what are you thinking, Tom?
I think you're going to see one of the best teams that has been in Breslin in a long time. You know, it's definitely a non-conference game. And I just want to say thank you all for showing up and keep supporting your Spartans. Our hockey's doing well. Our women are winning by 50. And hang in there with football. Please hang in there with them. It's not as easy of a turnaround as you think. And appreciate y'all.
There you go. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And Mike, thanks for joining the group. Glad to be here.
You've been listening to the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. Labatt Blue Light, we're brewed for the roast. Meijer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light. Choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. The Tom Izzo Show is a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved. Join us next time on this network station for all the Spartan basketball action on the Spartan Media Network.